Hey guys, today is March the 18th of 2022, and I wanted to go over the Nifty 50 using cycle analysis. I wanted to give my brothers and sisters in India update on the Nifty 50. So without any further delay, let's get into it. So right here I have the Nifty 50. It's a weekly chart, and it goes back all the way to 2010. And one of the cycles, there's three, but there's two that they're very important, and then there's one that's super important. The super important one on the weekly chart is the 194, which is this one right here. We already hit a peak on December of last year, and it's now going into a cycle down, and it bottoms out or hits a trough on October around there on 2023. Does it mean that the Nifty 50 is going to crash? No. As you can see here, when we hit a peak on April 2018, the Nifty 50 just kind of went sideways, kind of stuck in a range. And then as the trough approached the bottom, COVID hit, which was unexpected, but that's what happens in cycles. You just never know why the cycles are down, and then the crash came. And this one doesn't really happen a lot, but this one hit right at the bottom of the cycle. And then it projected higher, and now this is where we're at right now. So the weekly cycle on the important one, the strongest cycle, 194, is down to October of 2023. The next one is the 115, which is the dominant cycle, which is this one down here that you see. This one topped out. The peak was August of 2021. And it hits a trough or a bottom of September of this year. So with my experience, what you want to do is you want to look at September, you want to look at August, July, August, September, October, November, 3 months in between, because it kind of bottoms in the last week of September. So you kind of look, to your left, a month to your left, a month to your right, and see for potential, turning points in regards to price action. Once you do a composite of those two, this is what the kind of forecast you get using the cycle. So it kind of, bottoms out somewhere around January 2023 next year, and then it just kind of goes sideways. So that's a composite of both of those. The last one I want to show you is not that strong, but it's there. It's the 327 cycle. That one tops out, hits a peak around June of this year. And it looks like it hasn't put the bottom yet in the cycle, but I guess it'll be coming somewhere. This is December 2025. That's probably going to be maybe June, July, around there. But that's really far out in the future. But it's not as strong, but it's there. I think the two good ones are the 194. The 194 is the strongest. That's a good correlation. And then the 115. So that's what's the forecast on the weekly. We're going to go to the daily next. But just be cautious. The weekly charts always kind of are more, dominating compared to the daily chart. And the further, bigger time frames you go, the more important it is. I don't have a monthly, but, I just only deal with the weekly and the daily. But I just want to let you know, just be cautious. Maybe don't trade as, with big risk, especially in this time where we're in right now with all the stuff going on in the world. Let's get into the daily chart. I've been having a tough time recording this video, but I'm going to chug along. This is like my third time recording this clip. All right, so let's get into it. This is the daily chart, and I'm using data points going back out of October 2018 to current date. And there's three that are important. Two are more important than the last one, and I'm going to go over them. The first one is the dominant cycle, which is the 150, roughly. This is a 148, but the 150 is this one, which is going to appear on the chart. This one bottomed out on February, and it's projecting a peak somewhere around May of this year. The next one that it's important is the 210. I'm going a level of priority on the cycles. And this one peaks out somewhere around June of this year. You can see that this one caught the bottom really well. Prices exploded, and it's going to start getting toppy somewhere around June. So the first one was around May. This is around June. And this last one is not really as important, but it's kind of there. And it's not that far from the 150 May, so it's kind of the same thing. You could honestly, you could really probably use the 210 and the 150 and be okay. But I'll leave it there. That's the 117. You add the 210. That's what you get. May, add the 150. Correlation gets tighter here with these three. So on the daily chart, what you want to be worried around is April, May, and June, because the other one, the 210 goes all the way to June. So those 3 months, be concerned if we continue pushing higher and blow through these highs up here, and it starts entering into April, May, June. Just be cautious, control your risk, because the daily now is getting toppy as of these cycles that are appearing right now that are strong. You know, things may change in the next couple of months, but as of right now, that's the forecast and the projection. You got to be careful entering those 3 months. But the main peak one is May. May is the middle one. That's the one you want to be focused on. But you know, a turn could come in April, and a turn could come in June. So that's why I'm just giving you a wiggle room space. You can see all 3. But the main one is May. So just keep your eyes on that and just control your risk, you know, trail your stop. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world and a lot of unknowns and uncertainties. So just be cautious out there. Okay, here is the Nifty50 on the weekly. And I'm just going to focus on this range right here where we at. Looks like we had an ABC correction, and we hit this area of demand. And up here is supply. So these are the levels you want to keep an eye on, that 18,219 all the way to that high of 186.11. If you do the retracement fib, you're above the 50%, so you're already halfway the hump. Levels you want to watch is at 61.8, which is the 174.24, 179.33, and then over here. And you got this trend line that I put as a resistance line. So just keep your eye on it. There's a lot of price action going on right here. So we'll see. But those are the key levels you want to watch. Right now, the weekly has a sell signal. If we go to the daily, there's a buy signal that it looks like it kicked in on March the 16th. You got this explosion or this big gap. So it's going to start getting narrowing here, but remember the cycles I went over. Let's kind of look into the future and what could probably play out. So here's April, and here's May, and here's June. So let's say if it starts going up and it kind of is having a tough time, you know, in this area, let's maybe even extend this, because this is going to go out into, you got April, May, and June, and I said May was probably the more important one, but you get the wiggle room between both of them. It starts going up here and it starts stalling, and then you start seeing it going down. That could be a sign of caution. Now, if it goes up and it blows through that angle, that trend line, chug-alongs and fights the bears, and then makes an whatever new high or an all-time high, and starts pushing high, that's super strong. But if it starts stalling out in April or in May or in June, and then it starts making higher highs and higher lows, then that's a sign that maybe the daily cycles are taking effect and influencing the Nifty50, and then it goes down. And we already know that on the weekly, there's 2 of them that are already pointing down. And there's one that's going to be approaching, I think it was either April, May, or June, one of those two. So those are the hot months you want to keep an eye on. I haven't even done seasonalities on this yet, so I don't know what happens with the Nifty 50 between April, May, and June. But maybe you could do that research. It's kind of hard doing all this stuff on my laptop, but just wanted to give you these key levels and cycles, important ones. I don't know if I'm going to do another clip, but just in case I don't, and this is the end. Good trading out there, good success, and hopefully this video gives you insight and helps you in your trading. Think of these videos as like this is like another person looking outside, because I don't trade this market. I just kind of watch it, and I do my research of analysis and Gann theory, and just apply and just kind of learn some things and pick up some notes. Think of them as okay, this is my game plan on trading the Nifty 50. You watch my video, you'd be like, oh, okay, I didn't know this and this and that. Now I'm aware that there's some cycles. I'm looking at the horizon ahead into the to the future and seeing maybe where there might be some danger zones or some traps, or maybe probabilities of this may play out. So I just got to be a little cautious. It's just kind of like a warning system. It's like, hey, be careful. We're approaching this cycle over here. Just be vigilant and keep your eyes open, and don't sleep on the wheel, as we say. Good trading, and hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the Nifty 50.